Hello, you guys. I'm not long out of the shower, so I'm still my hair is still drying, so that's kind of the look I got going here. I hope you're doing well this Sunday, and we're going to be talking about Ascension. I have to make sure that my live on the YouTube end here is. I just hate always doing this, but I have to make sure it's lined up. So hang on just a minute, and I'll have that. I hope you're doing well. Okay. There we go. So I hope that you're doing good. It's Sunday. The topic that we'll be kind of looking at is Ascension. Hey, P44. Hello, Indigo Chrysalis Tarot. Hi, Geeky Heart. Hi, everyone. Thank you for, showing up. Dora Smith. Thank you. Thanks. I am not long out of the shower, like I said, so my hair is kind of fluffy. It's drying yet, so I look a little funny. I think that's all right. How are you guys doing? It's a really beautiful. Hey Tyler, how you doing? It's a beautiful, sunny but chilly Northern California afternoon here, and I just thought I would see how you guys check in and kind of take the temperature, see what your people wanted to talk about Ascension, and you might want to know, hey Sheila, how you doing? And Shield Maiden, what is Ascension? And hey Vixen Doe. And it's really just aware decision to spiritually excel and grow and to consciously, thank you Indigo, it's consciously chosen intent for spiritual growth and doing things that will increase that. And the key is really to become one back with the source. So, we're like fragments of the source that are of light that we're drawn back to. Thank you very much, you guys. And it's just that with an awareness, it can expedite that spiritual growth. And while we're here is a really good, time. That's the point of us being here on Earth. It's really an intensive school, kind of like I guess it feels like a boot camp at times, doesn't it? But it is a privilege. For some reason, this plane, it does accelerate, have an ability, if you choose to accelerate your growth. And it's really important, I think, to try to ascend, to work on becoming better, if you will, and more harmonious. And the idea is that you have in your awareness the Godhead, whatever you want to refer to as divine. And so you just bring that more consciously into your actions. And it's very powerful when you do that. You can really empower you to make a lot better choices, and different choices maybe than you would normally. It's saying yes to a bit more on the spiritual end of inner work, especially stuff that's not particularly glamorous. I know people like to glamorize Ascension, but it's really a lot of hard work, and it's good work. It is absolutely work we want to do on ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. This is a plane where we can work with doing a lot of healing, with reflection, especially as we get older. And really, that's what a lot of that ascension is you are kind of purging the things, the fears, and the negatives as much as you can, and reclaiming your power and remembering where you're from, which is the greater source. And that to me is a loaded answer, but that's it really in a nutshell. So even with your being here is ascensive work. Just anything that it's painful. Yes, yes. Often it is not glamorous, as I was saying. It's a lot of like investment in Kleenex and ice packs for the swollen face when you've been crying. You know, that's one of the things I was just thinking about the other day. It was like, oh gosh, I hate it when part of the reason why I don't like crying is because also the swelling of your face is actually painful. So, hey, Tyson, how are you? I'm all right. Yata, hey. How is it in Arizona? How's that weather? It's chilly here. Other people, I'm just going to take a look and see what you're all saying. Very chilly here, Vixen Doe. 20 degrees in Maine. Ooh. And probably closer to zero wind chill. I remember that. I remember that kind of weather growing up in Missouri, northwestern Missouri, where we had the extremely hot and humid summers and then the below zero icy winters that we would get snowdrifts out in the country that would get up over 9 feet tall. I remember some really extra weather. We don't get that out here. I mean, up in Tahoe, I suppose they do. Breezy and clear skies. Ooh. So we're talking about Ascension. People had kind of said, hey, I'd really like you to bring up that topic. And it sounds kind of fancy, but it's really just about being aware of yourself, more aware of yourself and your connection to the divine, that is the truth, that's where you come from. And you've forgotten a lot of things when you come to Earth School. So you were kind of like relearning, in essence, in a very challenging atmosphere of this world that we live in, dimension, whatever way you want to look at it. And we do need to, like they had, old fashioned saying is very good. Be mindful of what you feed your head and your heart. Don't, it's okay to watch some shows that are cheesy or, can be violent or whatever. But, you really want to be mindful of what you feed yourself, and to make sure that no matter what, that you're bringing in positive things. Geeky Heart, yes. You were saying it's sometimes hard to see our own progress. And see, that's where the tarot and other tools, journaling your dreams, that's where that is helpful, because indeed it is. It's part of the challenge, is to be able to have some sense of our progress, even though we're knowing that, like you said, that we're doing the work. But as you said, what matters is trying. It is not about, did I do it perfectly? Whatever it is that you're trying to do, it is just being present. It is about being conscious, being present. You don't have to do anything perfectly. That's a real nice cliff to fall off of that you just don't need. We've got enough challenges here in this life, right? So my coffee went cold. So we need tools that can help us to be aware. And I think whatever it is, whether we use runes or we use nothing at all, and we're just sitting there being quiet and it's coming to us. No, everybody has their own way, but various tools, meditation definitely. And that doesn't, again, I think a lot of people get put off by it because they think it has to be fancy, or they're not sure they're doing it right. And I think that we get caught up a little bit too much in perfection and get too scared to even put our toe in the pool. And we need to realize, you know, one thing we can be certain of, if we don't try these things, if we just maintain being a bystander, that's all we're going to get. And you have to put some skin in the game. So, you know, there's various tools out there. And it's really about embracing the truth about who you are, that you're not a piece of crap. God doesn't make garbage, you know, and to get our priorities back aligned with the divine. And that is really about what ascension is, because as we do so, each little deed, you know, we are expanding our spiritual, if we can see it as a meter, even though we can't always see it or sense it, except for to know that if we're in a lot of pain or grief or going through some hard stuff, we can be pretty sure that we're moving that you know, meter. I like that. Dora says, I like to do Tai Chi. Now that is something, that mindful, slow movement where you're very present, that is an excellent tool. And I'd like to learn some of the upper body bits that I could do, because I would, some of the arms I got to watch. I'm just so screwed up in my I've worn out my upper body, but no excuses. There are bits of it I could do. And I want to recommend that you guys try it too. Try that, try other things. Journaling if you haven't done that, because all these different things are tools in your ability to, quote, ascend, to grow mindfully. That's what you're doing. You're just remembering that, you know, you are a spiritual being and you are also a human being, and you're aligning all of this with the Godhead and the divine source. And it sounds like it ought to be really, really complicated. In some ways it is, but in many ways it isn't. And a lot of you are doing it without even perhaps being aware. You're just naturally drawn to food for your soul, you know, and that's great. So it can be as simple as complicated as you want or as you need it to be. You know, sometimes for me, a lot would be going out in nature. Loved that. And when I couldn't hear another human being, that was really even great. I really don't like where I'm living because I can hear too many people. And for me, I'm very sensitive. And yes, I have my shields up and all that. But the best place for me is a more natural setting. You know, I'm used to that. I'm actually much more used to that than being so close together with other humans. Very strange. Love it. Thank you, Shield Maiden. And Palafaus says, when the weather gets back to walking, journal writing is an excellent way to express yourself. Yes. And, you know, even when you, if you can't get out there and do your usual walk or, you know, which is wonderful, and you can actually put physicality. That's why sometimes if you have a lot of physical issues like I do, it's even just being physical and moving around in the shower and just kind of like tuning out the world. And this, you know, it's just so good. And even better if you can go for a walk in nature, whatever way you can do it. But you raise your vibration. You really do. And that's why it feels better. You know, that's why you go home and you go, man, I really had to fight myself to go and do that. And I always know that I feel better when I do that. And that's another way that you know that you're doing something that isn't just physically good for you, but is doing something for your mind space and your head space, you know? That's why a lot of people like to go on runs or walks or hikes, you know, that all of that is fantastic. And because that really puts you more naturally, in my opinion, in harmony with the divine. That's nature, you know. That's one of the best ways, one of the most ways that I'm inclined myself to realign. I loved when my family and I had some land in Colorado, and we used to go and we would camp for like 7 years every summer, and I loved it. I loved hearing the trees and the wind through the trees at night. It did teach me a lot. Nature taught me a lot, and hearing how the trees spoke, and that's why I don't like being around the space of so many other people. It's, to me, too much noise. I want to hear trees, you know. I want to hear that. That's what I need. So I know that I need for recharging a much more natural atmosphere. It's one of the reasons why I also believe that I am fatigued as much as I am. It is just the certain defense, I think, to the sensitivity of sound and energy of where you're at. And we're all different. I can certainly pull up the wall. I'm used to doing that because I'm used to not, at this point, being in a more natural setting, that I am in a setting where I've got like packed neighborhood here. And I'm sure many of you might have to do that too. But if you are near nature and you can get out and enjoy it, certainly do, in whatever capacity, even if it's your back patio, that's a definite recharge. And the more you do that, really, the more aligned I believe that you become with Creator and creation, and a sensitivity and an awareness to your connectedness. You can really sense that. Yeah, and I agree, Paula. When it's cold, for some of us, we just really cannot get out there. It's just, that's no good. You can not be able to appreciate what you're out there for if you're too cold, or risk slipping and breaking your arm, on ice. I remember people every winter time, in the winter when the ice would come, oh, so-and-so busted their arm going in the parking lot at the grocery store, so I don't miss that. Vixen, that would be awesome. Love find. Yes, a babbling stream. And I found that a lot in Arizona. There's some great places there. Sorry, Tyson, I don't mean to bring more people into Arizona, but there's beautiful places there. There's beautiful places, more than likely, wherever you live, just when it's more temperate. A babbling stream is lovely, That's why sometimes I think I should make a YouTube channel that is just ambient noise. And I probably do a heck of a lot better on that channel than I am on here, but truly, it's very healing. And I make use of a lot of those. I like that sound and the wind in the trees, but I don't like being too cold by the wind, because then I get a physical reaction. It has to be certainly pretty warm. I like it about 80. Sedona, yes. But there's some places too, if you want to get away from the off the map of kind of a touristy kind of thing. There's other quiet places, if you know people that live there that are willing to take you to these special places where there isn't a lot of other people going, and where the last inhabitants were indigenous folks. That, and of course, there's still, Tyson will tell you, hey, we're still here, but this was like a ruin. It was no longer being habitated by at least physical bodies, but I saw some wonderful, amazing places that you could just feel it. And used to live in Flagstaff. Oh, that's right. Beautiful, beautiful state. And New Mexico as well. That's another one of my favorite states. And Colorado. Outside of, California. California has beautiful forests and quiet places. It's just trying to get there and find a place for me. That's my dream. So put some positives out there for me, if you would. And also make sure to hit the thumbs up. Oh, Shield Maiden. Now she's in the UK. Oh, I gotta scratch my back. Sorry. And She says, she has a nature reserve nearby where there is a stream and beautiful, but I can't walk back there anymore. Oh, bummer. Well, there's the point where you know that you just have to remember it. And I hope you can find some place where you can again, do that. Because I think it's very healing. That's something that I've always done as a child was very, and my parents luckily did not ever try to imbue appreciation of the environment and the beauty of the environment and valuing the earth. And I'm really glad my parents were ahead of their time. They're artists. And I'm really glad for that. Well, what drew me to Cali was two things, really. I was meant to go. My mom was moving out here. I got a bit buck shy at the thought of moving all the way out here and only knowing my mom. I shouldn't have, but I was meant to go because I ended up having the accident that I was in. And one of the places I had to go for treatment was the place my mom was moving to, which was the Bay Area, San Francisco area. And she had just arrived here. And actually this February is the month of my accident, when I had my accident, the 21st, 22nd, because it happened after midnight. And I just kind of like, oh man, that's right. It took me for a moment, you guys. But yeah, that's going to be coming up. So I also get a little bit emotional, a little emo around this time. And I know what it is. I do have post-traumatic stress. So part of ascensive work or spiritual work is really about healing. And Ascension helps you to raise yourself up out of that lower vibration of misery. And it's a mistake to try to numb yourself as much as we want to go, oh my God, this is so painful. I can't take another breath. I want to have a drink, or I want to do something that maybe we'll go overboard. Some of us, like, that's the reason why I don't drink, is because one is, probably enough, but it doesn't feel like it. I feel like I want to do more and more and more, and it's not good. So I don't drink for that reason. And it's improved my life not doing that. And what they say to do really is true. Lean into it. Do the exact opposite. Feel it. Cry. Get it out. Write out bad pages of bad poetry, that you'll never show to anyone. It doesn't matter. Just do it. I think that purging, right, especially right now, is huge, especially right now, so that we can, whatever you want to call it, raise our vibration, truly get in a better headspace, because your vibration is a better headspace. Whatever way you want to call it, refer to it. A lot of people, use a lot of different terms. So what is Ascension? Well, here's some things that I'll just throw out at you. There's tons of different things on the net that you can look and find. But basically what it is spiritual awakening and ascension. Is there a difference? And this is spirituality is tuning into the spiritual side of life through practice, meditation, tuning into the deeper meaning and bringing the presence of spirit or connecting with spirit in your life. It doesn't matter, like I said, whether you're connecting with angels, ancestors, ascended masters, whatever, God, the source. When you experience, feel, sense, and communicate beyond the physical, beyond it, that's when you're tuning into the spiritual. That's really, truly it. And awakening and ascension. Awakening is when you're actually waking up to the truth that you are one with the source. Like I said, people want to make you feel like you're not worth it. That's a lie. And it's a lie that we so easily believe and run ourselves down with. This is when we start to realize that's just not true. You understand that there's so much more going on than just the physical realm. This is awakening and quote unquote ascension. It also means waking up to the higher experience, that you have a higher self. There's a higher version of you. This is the earth version of you, okay? And it's kind of asleep in a lot of ways, and it's finding out new things and reawakening. And so what you're finding is out that it's a greater perspective about yourself and a greater understanding. And there's just knowing, it's just that you're at the tip of that iceberg of just knowing that you're there, that there's so much more going on than meets the eye, and that your waking experience, your vibrational part of your life. I know it sounds woo woo, but it's really true. Think of a radio, the right way that you tune in, how sweet that sounds, it's the same kind of thing. And I think a lot of us can appreciate what that feels like and how it keeps us from throttling other people that are driving us crazy that we love, or don't wish harm, but maybe they're just not at the same level. They're at a different place. And it's very challenging right now in this world. It is very challenging. And we are meant, I had a dream that it shows that we are meant to awaken. We are meant to ascend. We are meant to, as corny as it sounds, just remember, we're not garbage. You might be very fed up if you have a bit of a perfectionist streak like I do. Oh, great. Now you just might as well be a masochist, right? In this world, oh, I'm never good enough. Oh, I'm fine. I'm a broken person, but I'm fine. I'm, and that's, cool. All right. And you're cool. It's fine. We're here trying. That's the main thing. And we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to worry about that. Put that away. Throw that in the trash. Throw that in the trash, girl. Throw it in the trash. You are fine just as you are. It's all these people that, and there is a whole investment in our insecurity and our sense of lack of knowing who we really are, because we're very powerful beings. Human beings are powerful. You think you see an elephant out, if you ever see an elephant or a lion, yes, I am enough. And you think, my God, that creature is amazing. Well, so are you. We are just another aspect of the creator. And however way you want to call the creator, source, whatever way feels good to you, I'm down with that. If you're a Christian, that's fine. I don't care what your religion is. Right here, right now, we're talking about spirituality, and that goes across any lines of the limits of a belief system and I'm sorry, religion is a rules and regulations, too much of that. And people get caught up in that. Oh, hi, IT guy. I'm wearing my favorite black and green today. Thank you. I'm feeling very good. I had a nice shower before I came out. My hair's still a little damp, but I'm revved. I feel good. I wish my coffee were, my little timer went off while I forgot about it, while I went in there and had a quick wash, but I felt good. And that's another thing we can do. It's so silly. I'd never thought about a spiritual quote unquote path until I started, reading more about different spiritual practices, which are different tools. However, I do wish to say this, is that with Indigenous people, do not appropriate their culture, do not appropriate their religion. Please, their beliefs, don't do that. Okay? I have really strong feelings that way. We don't need to do that. We can be inspired, but we need to know that we have to make our own way, And so I ask if you're paying attention and watching my live, I ask you not to appropriate, to gain inspiration from, because, you know, it's better that we do that. It is respecting our brothers and sisters, two-spirit, however way, people that are non-binary. Just need to respect each other and respect each other's differences, as well as our commonality, because we have so much more in common. So, thanks, Paula. I'm having a good hair day. I went a few days without washing it, and then you get that really good day when you wash it, and it's all like, I'm having a good hair day. P44, you're such a delight. You carry so much agape, unconditional love. Agape is a Greek word for unconditional love. I just like the way it sounds too. Because music, and now here I go on a rant, but it is vibration. And so there's certain, when we think, it's no more corny to think of ourselves as having a vibration than the music that we like to listen to. And that music could be the birds' music and their song, or it could be thunder and how, rain. Me with my nature girl stuff, I can't help it, but that's what speaks to me. And I just am so glad to have had that 7 years in my childhood before my accident, where I was fully able-bodied and I would rock jump. I would climb those rocks all over the place in Colorado. And there was it was such a holy, healing place. I did have a vision of a medicine person there when I was sick, and they helped me when I was sleeping in a tent. Mom and Dad were out. I don't know what they were doing, but I was fine. I was okay. And it was very cool. I don't normally share this, but I will, because I feel so compelled at this time. It's very personal and it means a lot to me. But I was sick, Sometimes when when the weather changed, I'd get sick. Not so much here in California. This is the longest I tend to go without being like virus sick. But so I remember I was almost well, and I had a few. Oh yeah, remember those pink crunchable amoxicillin tablets that you had to take as a kid? Well, if you don't, be glad, because I always thought they were nasty. They're so sweet, they're kind of sickening, and I hated that. Oh, I don't want to make you cry. Only in crying good way. But anyway, shoot, what was I saying? I have to get back to it. Anyway, I appreciated that ability of being able-bodied for those years, because at 17, I was in a very bad accident and I was not buckled up. I'm a country bumpkin, shit kicker, as my husband likes to be corny and remind me, a corn cup. We got this joke. He's a limey and I'm a corn cup. So anyway, I enjoyed being able to have those experiences, and those experiences that always stood out, and pre-accident and after will always be those years in Colorado, because there was, like I was saying, there was a holy man that's right. I was telling you I'd been sick, and I was down at the, I decided to I loved exploring the land. I loved it so much. So I had gone for a walk way down at the beginning at the property line, which is like where you drive in. And I was a grade schooler. That means I was probably, for those of you that are not from America, I was really young here. I was probably about 6 or 7. I remember 1976. And I got the bell bottoms in plaid to prove it. Let me find that picture for you guys. Anyway, so I was starting to feel like I was starting to feel weak again. And I thought, oh no, I'm not entirely well yet. I've got to make it back to the tent, which was quite a walk. And it was at an incline. And, I was starting to, it was just really, it felt scary as a kid because, like, I'd been sick before, even as a young child. I think I kind of knew my stuff a bit. And this scared me a bit. Thought, ooh, I'm not used to feeling like this. So all of a sudden there's this drop in energy. And I just know that I got to make it back to the tent where my cot is and go to sleep. And maybe if mom was about, ask her for my medicine. So I knew, thank goodness, my mom and dad were kind of free spirited in certain ways of what they taught us. And I knew where my medicine was. And I didn't abuse my medicine, and I think this is part of the reason why, because I was brought up with respect for that part of it. Alcohol, it's another story for another day. But anyways, I did know where the medicine was, and I got about halfway there, and I just had to stop at this incline. And I was thinking seriously, oh, Jesus, I don't know if I can make this. Oh, Lord Jesus, this is, I'm a little kid. And I just put it out there too, because I've also always had mediumistic skills. So I just put out the vibes and I just said, to the spirits there. And I knew there were spirits there. I said, please help me. I don't feel well. I need to make it to the tent. And somehow I made it to the tent. I kind of don't remember, because I just remember that moment of feeling like, oh crud, I'm in deep poo here. I need to get back to that tent. And I had a long walk. I believe I was given a little boost from spirit, and I just remember finally getting into the tent, finding the medicine, and I had this pelt that I'd been given by I think an old timer there out in Colorado. I don't know, as a kid. And I laid my head down on my cot, and no sooner had my head, I heard this man telepathically telling me, put this under your head. And I just I did it. And I took the medicine, like I said. And I was like, he's like, just lay down. And I just thought I could relax, and I could kind of see him, but I couldn't. And he looked modern day, indigenous of the area, but he was dressed like in jeans, and he had a belt buckle, and he had a country western type button down. And he also just had like a bandana that he just had rolled and, around his hat. And he had like a bit of a cowboy hat. And that's what I remember. And he was graying. He was graying. He was an elder. And he looked out for me. And I know that sounds corny as heck, but this is why I don't want people appropriating indigenous culture. You have to have respect. And so he helped me. I know he did. And I fell into a very deep, deep sleep. And I know I sweated like mad, because all I know is that when I woke up, my temperature was broken and I knew I was healed. And I was. And I was like, good, hot dang, I can go out and play and climb on the rocks again, and that's what I did. And so I think becoming acquainted with our whatever environment and the energy that you're in is important. And this was such a pure area. It is a sacred place, and I hold it dear in my heart. And my favorite memories, like I said, gotta be prior to my disability coming in, have got to be when I could walk and climb and hike, the rocks. And I don't mean to get all mushy or make anybody, feel verklempt, but you know what? Appreciate what you have, because you don't until it's gone a lot of times. And even if you're slow walking, it's okay. Get out there and do it. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself, because that is how It is very hard to be objective, especially when you're in a lot of pain. And especially, I have my bad days because I do have, like I said, PTSD for real. And I do, like I said, I should have invested with the Kleenex company, or at the very least with pups, because, the good thing is I've opened up, and I was always taught not to cry. I was always taught not to cry. And that's bad. That means you're more than likely going to numb yourself. And how are you going to numb yourself? Well, usually in a less than healthy way. Drugs, maybe overeating. That's not healthy either. My dad, for instance, himself, that's his issue with, for me, it was drinking. Although I didn't enjoy drinking, I didn't like drink. And I really don't miss it at all. More was escapism. And once you start taking back your power from your fears, and just to let you know, it's no glamorous moment. My poor husband, every night I'm pretty much yelling in my sleep. I'm battling it out, apparently. And he has to wake me up and say, Maya, you're yelling. I could hear you my kids that live at home with me will say, Mom, I could hear you at the other end of the house. And I'm like, wow. And this isn't something that I've always done, but I feel like when I throw cards on it and I ask, I see a purging going on, that I am doing it through my dream time. And that's another reason why I think sometimes I'm more tired. When you wake up tired after you feel like, oh my God, I was supposed to be asleep these last, but boy, I don't feel like I got a real rest, That's also part of it. It's not easy. And there's a lot of things that are very frustrating about being human, don't you think? I always thought when I was a kid how weird it was to be here. And I said to a friend of mine, it's like, and what I didn't understand what I was contemplating, which was awareness. And I remember it is awful to tell your kids, don't cry. And, but unfortunately, my dad went through the army, and this is unfortunately something that is pretty, we all know a lot of dads and men that are taught not to cry. And that's a mistake. There's an appropriate place and time where we can just, go let it all hang out, and more than likely, if we don't allow ourselves to, at some point in time, in the privacy of our own home or whatever, we're going to end up breaking down in the grocery store line, and we will not have our life investment. We might have to bust into a box of these that we're probably buying and just, right? So I want to tell people, I used to think I had some really screwed up ideas about what was, you had to tough it out and, not cry and all of that. And it just messed me up. And I realize now, like I said, now I'm way more emotional, and probably am trying to kind of mediate myself back from one extreme. Don't want to go to the other. But that's what it'll do to you when you're taught an unnatural way. It's not that we shouldn't cry. I think that we can tell our children or differently, that, maybe the opportunity, when we're feeling sad, we can cry, but maybe we don't want to be crying in front of everyone else, this kind of thing. I think that would have been better than being told, you crying? Oh, I'll give you something to cry about. And there's a lot of people that it's a really old school way that those of us that are at least I'm going to say 45 and up, probably. Maybe 30s, though, you youngins. But me in my 50s right now, this is one of the programs that society had going, and that was reinforced. Yeah, yeah, and it just, what a we don't, I never want anyone to feel that way. And so I just want to put that out there. If you were raised with that, like I was, that's not right. We wouldn't have tear ducts if we weren't meant to let it out. God knows this life is stressful. That's why we have the tear ducts. We develop them. you know? I think, had there been a more greater awareness, you know, yeah, a lot of this could be overcome and we would be ahead of the game. But many of us, the luxury wasn't there of having parents that necessarily, though they mean well, they were not as well as they could be. And same here, Faye. Now, but what taught me how difficult this was something. When I was 18, I was in a music video, and it was filmed in the Bay Area at the Cliff House. And I posted it here before, but it's been a long time ago. It was by Tuck and Patty. They are Bay Area artists, and the beautiful couple, beautiful musician. Hey, Herc. And I did, I played the part of the disabled woman that's in the wheelchair in the Jimi Hendrix song, because you all know I love Jimi Hendrix, Castles in the Sand. And so they did a beautiful cover of Castles in the Sand. And I was in the video for that. And they said to me, I was 18 years old. You'll see how young I was there. And the director comes up to me, and, now I could have given him that and everything. But he said, okay, we're going to need you to cry. And I panicked inside because I thought, oh gosh, okay, I'm going to try. I'm going to really, really try. And I did not realize how good I had become at not crying, And I thought, this is a problem. And he was trying to coach me. He's like, yeah, really, this went on for a little bit of time. And I thought, okay, he's getting frustrated with me. And so finally, my eyes kind of welled up a little bit, but it was all I could do. And that was very profound to me afterward. And I thought, I really enjoyed doing that kind of work, but I am so emotionally shut up and closed up. That can't be right. It's not that you necessarily have to be where you can cry on cue, but I knew down deep inside, I should have been able to do that. And I knew that there was something in me. That's what alerted me, at that young of an age. Plus, I was only maybe a year after my accident. And so your headspace, it takes a very long time. I'm still wrapping my head around this 34, 5, 6, what I don't even remember now how many years happened in 1986. But you learn to adapt. You have to adapt to things. And you're so busy doing that, you don't realize how traumatized you still are, And I still am and probably always will be, unfortunately, like in the car. I white knuckle it. I'm okay if we're out in the country and the traffic is chill. But you put me in San Francisco, busy city traffic, we got freeways and stuff and people merging. Oh, I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. I just don't like it. And I've learned that I don't have to like it. I don't have to But I just have to get through it to get things done. Now that's been a revelation too. Has everyone here read 1984, Brave New World? We're living it. And you're right. If not, you should. I actually haven't read it. But I am aware of the basics of it and you're right. I'm you know what? Let's make people do some footwork, Kylo. If you're curious why, look it up. You have something that I never had. And many of us who are a little bit older, we had to go to the library, and you had to hope that that information and the books that they had there were up to date, or that somebody hadn't. Oh God, remember when somebody else had checked it out and you're like, So you have to. I have to say, it gives me appreciation. I love the internet. They are classic novels, 1984. And I tell you what, I will read it. I know I've got it probably on my Kindle, and it deals with how the government controls, and it deals with authoritarianism and a lot of things that we're dealing with right now. That's one of the reasons why I haven't wanted to read the book. To be honest, it's like, well, we're living it. But it would be good to read the book still, because it is a classic, and I love literature, but also, yes, the card catalog. Remember when we had to learn that? We actually were tested on that. Oh, now we sound like the great dinosaurs that we are. It's a short read. Yes, I'm sure it is. So I will enjoy it. But it's one of those classics that I've been meaning to get back and read. I did read a lot of Camus, which I really enjoyed. I remember that in my last year of high school, which I had out here, I had an excellent English teacher. I really loved her. Wish I could remember her name. But yes, it is about Big Brother. And so I will definitely go back to and read that. No, that's fine. It's all part of the flow, because, Kylo, you bring in something that's really good. It's like, it's not just about me up here being as much as I do like to share. Sometimes I like to share, sometimes I don't. I'm like anyone else, but I like the dinosaurs. I'm just surprised at how many sleepers there are in the new age community. It's staggering. Oh, Paula says, I was a student assistant in a college library. Well, that's, I'm a bit of a nerd, and there's something very appealing to that about, for me. Oh, it was an awesome experience. I bet it was. I would have loved to have done that. I was a bit intimidated at first when we were being taught the, how about the card catalog and everything. But there was something very cool about learning that. I feel like it was a code. It was one of those codes, that once you knew, gave you wings. I loved time in the library. I loved that. And I loved one of the things before I had children, honest to God. Now I have to reread the same paragraph probably 10 times. I'm not kidding. Because after I had kids, I'm not kidding, I lost my ability to just concentrate and read the way I used to, where I could finish a book in a day, like 200, 300, 400 pages. Like, it would take me all friggin' day, but I'd read it all day and night. Of course, just taking a break to go to the bathroom, but you all know what I'm talking about. Ooh, you guys were lucky. You had the Encyclopedia of Britannica. Always jealous, always wish that we had that. Animal Farm is good too. Yes, that would be another good one to go back to. How many of you have read Camus, Albert Camus? K. And so many good. I really enjoyed reading Albert Camus. And I was big into The Cure. That's when The Cure were about my age. and I went to go see them, actually. I went to go see The Cure. Yes, we will have to do a book day. Look, let us all try to do that. And maybe we can help each other to at least begin to develop and reclaim that concentration. I think book clubs, book days, that was something I had thought about earlier. I thought, yeah, I want to do that. The Cure. Oh, yes. I saw them and I remember this. And I was so young. It was after my accident. It was one of the first shows that I went to. My mom's boyfriend's sister, one of his sisters, was out here, Debbie. And Debbie turned me on to all the music, all the cool music. And she took me to concerts and all these places. She's in spirit now. I connected with her earlier and chatted with her earlier this morning, remembering her. And she took me to that. She and I went, and we went to The Cure, and it was really great. It was a really great concert. And that was back in the day with when their music was just, I still like A Forest. The song A Forest by The Cure. It's one of my faves. I'm just going to look at your comments and catch up with you. Animal Farm is good. So is the movie. Okay, cool. Because I might do the movie first and then go to the book. I definitely want to do those. And those were on my reading list. You know, like mentally. You know how you have that where it's like, well, I don't know. Not everybody enjoys reading for the fact that they're reading most of the time nowadays on the net anyway, unless they're watching a video. But I digress. But books are good, especially for when the power goes out and you cannot access the internet. Make sure that you have some hard copy books, all right? The librarian I worked for was my 6th grade English teacher. It is a smaller world. My word, that's neat. So Animal Farm, I love this because like you can go ahead and put up and share whatever you want. And this way, because this is recorded, we don't have to worry about it. We can go back and we can go back to Dora's comment or Kylo's comment or Janet's. And this is funny. Janet says, Moby Dick is no longer about a dysfunctional fisherman, but about not letting go of things. So that would be cool. And there's a lot that we could do with that. So I will make a book day for us. And we'll just do like, I'll come up with that. I'm going to write it down because you all know. I think that there's so much going on in our world today. We've been saying it was a much simpler world in some ways. It's a little more manageable. The one thing about having all that technology or not having all of that technology was that there were aspects, that, well, you'd have to tie a string around your finger or write a note. And that's why I'm old school and looking for, I'm very picky about my pens too, you guys. Anybody else picky about the pens that they use? That has to have a glide. That cannot be like, I tell you, I know I'm not the only one that does that. I know I'm not. I cannot be. Okay, so we're going to bring in a book day on the channel. Book day for channel. Okay. And let me just catch up with the comments here. Awesome. Cool. I get like that with a book sometimes. Good for you. Keep that up, Shield Maiden. Really, I think it really is important for our brains. I think really reading and comprehension is really important exercise for our brains. I really do. And Depeche Mode, yes. Did I see Depeche Mode with her too? I think I did. Because I know Debs was like totally into them. I'm sure that I did. We saw U2, and then we saw a lot of bands that never made it into anything. That were playing the San Francisco circuit. Oh, I just remember one time out with Deb, it was in the middle of the afternoon, but we'd had a few cocktails, and she made my life so much more fun at that time. And there was some punk band up, and we were singing Bite My Head Off. That's all and we were just like into it. So these are memories that are coming back to me of when I did get out in the late 80s. Now, my accident happened in 1986. So we're talking a long time ago. How aren't more people awake in the New Age community? Do you believe there is a false light? Yes, I do. I think that unfortunately, there are people that use it as a form of escapism, and they get lost. Kind of in Buddhism, they would say they kind of get lost and enchanted by phantoms, if you will. They're kind of in the very creational stage, but it's fantasy. It's a process of thought, and you can tell usually when that's going on. And unfortunately, that's been one of the reasons why in the 90s, I pulled back from a lot of the New Age scene that was happening because there was a lot, and there still is, but there's a lot of escapism and a lot of people that like to use certain words and things and kind of fluff themselves up. And that's not, to me, that right there says unless you're in a really happy mood, it makes me wonder how much shadow work they've done. Especially the types that are really freaked out by anything shadowy, remote, I think you have to delve into shadow and clean it up. Absolutely. So I saw too many people back in the 90s and into the 2000s. And I went and I would join certain pagan circles in San Francisco that were having get-togethers and stuff. And some of them were very enjoyable, but some of them clearly, I just could sense that some people were just a little, I'm sensitive, so I could feel certain things about some people, and it's part of what made me realize I don't need to be part of these circles. It was an interesting experience, but I don't want to have to deal with people's head games, the problems like that. And because it was very egotistical, and then oh, I've got a coven, and I'm just a loner, really, that has an extroverted side. You can thank my Sagittarius midheaven for making it so that I do come out and show my face, because otherwise I'd be pretty much probably a total hermit. But that is some of what I'm sharing. And it's all part of for the experience of the journey. I consider that part of my ascension in learning of that. That's escapism. What's really actually truly when you're getting deep down into working through things that are difficult and out of your comfort zone, you know, not just about how you look and making sure you have all the right accoutrement, you know, and do I look pagan enough? Lots of people, you know, when you see it, you're like, ha! But it's also cool to see people dressed up at the same time, but I just hope that they are not going to be shallow about that, you know? I don't want to be like a buzzkill, because I think it's totally fun to express yourself spiritually, and I think it's important. And there were people that definitely in these circles where there was dance and stuff, and it was so fun. And I was a part of that, still even in the wheelchair doing that. But, you know, you don't want to just do that with anyone. It's interesting because you are sharing energy and you can feel it. And that was another reason. So, but you find that you if you pay attention, it's really about paying attention. Ascension is about paying attention and about your intention. Though that is what makes, you know, people talk about these objects that are magical or whatever. It's what they're imbued with is someone's intention. It's not like this is, you know, going to build a house or something, but it's where someone is placing, it's the power of intention. And that's huge. We have so much untapped resource there. And that's because we do have a tendency to procrastinate, put things off, either by numbing ourselves or by pretending to go off and go through these phases where we are doing stuff. But everything is also for learning. So, you know, I don't want to be discouraging, because we're all at where we're at. You know, it's all about learning and sharing. And the sharing thing's difficult because it does require vulnerability. And who likes, you know, going out there and doing that? I've had to kind of learn to do it out of necessity with the wheelchair, because, you know, people look at me and they're normally, of course they are, they're curious what happened, you know? So you learn how to deal with people, even though dealing with people is tiring for me. Okay, I'm going to go back to the comments and see what you guys are sharing. Paula Faust says you went to a Julian. I liked him, Julian Lennon. He's very good. Where was that? In Austin. Oh, I'd love to go to see now. I'd love to see the shows that they do in Austin when they do the festivals and stuff. But I just can't hack the physicality of the demands now of the going to these festivals. Wish that were different. But it would have to take and be a really great band to draw me out now. But I'm glad that I have gone and seen a lot of shows in my chair. I've done that. Now it would have to be an artist that it wouldn't be a big show. I wouldn't want to go to like a huge thing. I don't know how you guys feel about that, if that's changed for you or not. For me, it has, and mostly because of the physicality. Okay, Dawn Louise, hello. She says, I love books. Kindle has been the best invention. Even better is my kids share my love of books. Right on, Lucky. You know, my oldest loves books. My youngest one's not into the reading thing so much. It's really not her deal. But I'm glad to say that at least one of mine does. And I agree. Kindle's great. No more in the flashlight under the bed covers, right? Having to get out the flashlight. The Kindle's great for that. And that you can adjust the brightness. Because I have a bit of glaucoma. I'm old, like I said, right? Not really. I feel a lot younger than I am. My body feels a lot older than I feel inside. But with this eye, I have a bit. And so I like that I can adjust the lighting on that so I can see. I love Kindle. I do. And I love audiobooks too. My husband's not as big a fan because I like to listen to them when I try to fall asleep. And sometimes, just seeing what everyone's saying. The movie is a cartoon, but it's still good. So it's animated. That's cool. I'm cool. I like all kinds. As a result, I'm sure, of my parents. I'm pretty open. I like to try new things and I like to see new things. And I love illustration. My dad taught illustration for a while. He's a retired art professor. And so I have inherited his love on the positive side for the environment, the earth, and books and film and music. I remember growing up, this long, I'm not kidding you, it took up a wall, album rack, and all vinyl. This is, of course, in the 80s, before we had all the CDs and stuff, and cassettes even. And Billie Holiday, what else was in there? He had everything. He had Janis Joplin, and he had Nat King Cole, and so I could quite happily, I ruined so many needles, and those are expensive on those turntables, kids, not a joke. But my dad, had a lot of influence that way. Yes, please don't forget to click the thumbs up. And if you can make a donation, I would appreciate it. And I can watch it on YouTube. That's even better. I'll be loading that up. I love this. Don Louise says, I kept all my actual books so I can reread and share them. That's wonderful. I've got a lot. My husband built like a built-in bookcase for me in one of the walls here, and it's full of books. And I have to, right now I'm looking at books piled up. I'm a bit of clutter here, especially because of remodel, but books. And it's not him, it's me. That's one thing I need to declutter and mainstream myself. Speaking, now it's a perfect segue to show you a new card deck that I think's really cool. And I've gotten a few different decks. I will be doing, you guys, I got so much work to do. I will be trying to get the quiet time out of my family to film, to introduce you to some new decks. One of them that I'm really digging is the Minimalist Oracle deck, okay? Highly recommend it if you like. This really works as a great intuitive deck, and it is meant for that, okay? Ooh, I've got one of my hair in my eye. So let me just show you very quickly this inside the box. I'll be using this today. If you guys have questions, we'll cue those up. And this shows it's gold gild on it. There you go. I think you can kind of see it that way. And it is very basic. Okay, like this is Inner Child. This one is Destiny. This one is Horizontal. Now, when you look these up very quickly in the cute little guidebook, like the horizontal is the 3D world. Okay, this is the earthly world. And then the vertical, I think, has to do with, because I just got these, so it has more to do with the expanded sense of your life, that it's not just earthly. That's what we forget, is we're earthly right now, but we're also timeless. So yeah, we could get into that too. That's a real trippy thought. And I've been watching more stuff about quantum physics and stuff. And trust me, math is not my strong point, but I can understand the quantum physics aspect for some reason. Now, if you asked me to replicate it, I probably couldn't. But I can understand what they're talking about, which stuns me. I hear I could not pass algebra, and always because I would always forget a piece out of the formula or whatever. But quantum physics, can make perfect sense to me. I think that I know I'm not alone that way. Kyla says, I used to feel a lot of anxious energy in regards to world events. Then I realized I'm only in control, yes, of myself. I had to let it all go. Now I'm just an observer. Yes, that's the truth. And it is not down to you. And it is not about you fixing it. People in this world have things that they need to go through. And unfortunately, some of them will be painful. A lot of them, as we know, will be painful. And we can't save, everybody the way we wish we could. The most that we can do is to keep them in thought and prayer and uplift them and hope that somehow their consciousness will open and become awake and aware. And really and then beyond that, we have to let it go. And I know what you mean. I mean, I used to have nightmares back in grade school that Russia and the United States were setting off nukes. And this was back in the 80s, when that was the Cold War really heating back up again with Reagan and all of that. And one of the dreams I never forgot was dreaming that somebody set off a nuclear bomb and that I just felt my body like just incinerate and lift. It was weird. It was horrible. And so we got to realize, you don't want to internalize all that because it's not for all of one person to solve. This is about experience that people unfortunately may need to have or whatever. And sometimes though we think we are going to keep somebody safe from everything, we can actually do them more harm, unfortunately. You all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes experience has to happen. Shield Maiden says she's particular about her pen as well. So does Faye. Oh, you do the Archie and the Gang. I remember my grandmother, one of my grandmas, used to buy comics and she would keep them at her house so that when we showed up, and my cousins as well, we could read them. And so my oldest cousin was a big reader as well. And I think all of us kids read. We would all hang out at grandma's and it would quiet us. And because she was very nervous herself. My grandmother had, what's that where you like, and I can't say I'm particularly fond myself, but really housebound, agoraphobia, agoraphobia. I don't know. There's one of spiders. She probably wasn't crazy about them either, but like my auntie would have to do all her grocery shopping. She could not stand being around all those other people. And I think it's her sensitivity. And we are very similar that way. So you were 15 in 86. I was 17. I was 17 in 1986. September, my birthday is September 5th, 1968. Your thoughts too. Is Pop Smoke around me? Does he have a message? Sure. Let's take a look and see what Pop Smoke has to say. And you know what? I'm going to try out with you, girl. You're going to be my guinea pig here for the Minimalist Oracle deck. We got odd light going now because the sun is starting to go down here in the West Coast. And my light on my camera is like, it's trying to, like, it's like, I'm not sure what I need to do. All right. Cool. Let's tap into Pop Smoke. And if you have a question, guys, go ahead and write it in all caps so I can see it, or so it stands out with throw some emojis in there, and I'll read on it. I really enjoyed talking with you guys about Ascension, and I hope that you guys will feel free to write more in the comments, because it's important. Not only you guys are kind of, though this is my channel, you guys, your comments, we all read the comments, don't we? When we're looking at any site, because that's usually half the fun. So your comments are meaningful and important too, and people will read them, and you will inspire people with your things. And I'm just providing you a platform to share that as I share mine. So please feel free. I'm also wearing my fire horse, my sun horse, Finnish charm. My mom and I have necklaces that kind of match. And I got this ring, this Latvian ring, this amber ring, I bought it because I remember growing up, she had one, and I used to love to look at it. And so it really puts me in touch. It's corny as it seems, but it does. It helps me to put me in touch with my ancestors, and it feels good. That's why, I mean, you don't need to appropriate anybody else's. You've got your own ancestors, and they're wanting to make a connection with you. Maybe not if you're a jerk. Wow. Okay. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, please. And if you have a question for me to read on, put it on in all caps and throw in some emojis so it stands out. Thanks. Okay, Pop Smoke. And what else? Okay. It is more that you are around Pop Smoke than him around you. It's not that it's something that we need to remember. And I was thinking about this the other night with my own guides, that what we have to remember is they are on a higher vibration now that they've processed their lives and they've gone through a lot of stuff and healing. And Lord knows, I don't know where he's at on that end of it, but just to know that if you want to connect with him, you can do so. He's not going to just be around you unless you are inviting him in. So as I was talking about how powerful our intentions are, make it your intention to invite him in. I do this with other artists that are on the other side. We have to create a bond, and it's going to be a little bit different. And so there's a whole journey in that. It's good for you to learn, Remy girl, because you will be able to sense and you will reclaim this power for yourself of inviting him. I'm just going to give you the advice. You invite his spirit in and you allow him to choose and say, and be very consistent with it, and say, I'd like to get to know you, spirit, to spirit. You can come in my dreams, we can talk, we can become friends, let's get to know each other, like that. And just invite him in. Do the simplest of things, just like you'd invite somebody over for coffee. And just keep doing that, because we've got the monkey mind, we've got a lot of bull crap going on in our head. And so we want to make an opening for receiving. And our world's busy. We got a lot going on. And so there's nothing wrong with saying my favorite artists, they're on the other side. I want to communicate with them. But realize that they have a right, just like anyone else that would be sitting in their living room, to their own peace and quiet. So it's good to, like, if you will, send an invitation, through telepathy, or if you're also more inclined, grab a notebook, write it out, write them a letter, and begin and build a connection. That's what he's giving me to tell you. So it's to understand that he would be happy to help you, guide you in certain ways that he can, because understand he's still growing and learning on the other side. And I don't know how long he's been gone. I don't think it's terribly long, right? So he is still processing a lot, potentially, maybe not, of his own stuff, because after we pass away, this is something I have been reading about, learning about, and it makes sense from my own personal experiences. And for me, you guys, if I haven't had the experience, I tend to be kind of cynical, but I push myself to keep an open mind, because some really far out stuff exists and we don't even consciously know at the moment or can take in, So Pop Smoke isn't far from you. There's no distance other than the fact that he would be in a different world, if you will, and it vibrates differently, and it's vibrating. He's wherever, he's to be. What I should do, and you might enjoy, and other people, Remy, is perhaps do a mediumistic reading where I give him let's say a 45-minute deep dive where he can share what he might want to share through the tarot, because that is a great way of allowing them their own voice. So he's talking about wanting you to understand that you can connect with him and that he isn't far from you. The only thing that creates the difference, of course, yes, he's not in a physical body, and he's working through this life that he just had is considered past, his past. So all you got to do is send him thoughts and invite him. But let's just see what he wants to share through the minimalist oracle deck. Okay. Portal. Okay, this says portal, whether you can see it or not. Okay, that's the first one. Chaos. All right. I'm feeling like there's perhaps the need for you to work through some chaos, because it feels like he's saying to me the opening is there, but there's too much chaos. It might be that your mind is in too much chaos to receive and sense what he's trying to, the message that he's trying to give you. So I think you need to maybe work on just trying to still your mind of any kind of disbelief or belief, and just allow, make sure, to be clear, if you want to know something from him or communicate with him, to still your mind before you do it, and make the intention, because it looks like there's an opening that he can't quite get through. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of, I'm feeling like there's a lot of, usually it's our monkey mind. It's our grocery list. It's our, that's why it's like, be still and know I am God. That's why God tells us to be still. We're supposed to quiet that, and so we can align and pick up, receive, like a receiver, So he's saying something here about, I think you need maybe a bit more quiet time, and I think you would be able to, yeah, the vertical. Now he is talking about the spiritual world, and he is talking about the limits of the earthly realm and the spiritual realm. And he's saying, in order to better receive him, I think he's giving me advice for you of clearing any kind of chaos that's going on in your mind, of even if you just, I can understand if you have a lot of, and hello to everyone, I'm sorry, I'm busy reading here for Remy Girl. Hey, everyone in the chat. Yeah, that's probably about the best to go. Anyway, Remy, I hope that you're listening. Sorry, he's been gone since 2020. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say and be wrong, but I thought it was pretty recent. So he is definitely talking, okay? And this is definitely him. And so what he's saying is he needs you to let go of some of the chaos to receive his insight or whatever it is that he may want to share with you. So you just need to figure out a way to quiet the mind. Like I said, for me personally, the whole quiet and opening up is like when you're taking a shower. For me, is probably the most receptive time. Or if you do like a spiritual bath, if you have a bath and you set aside, that'd be freaking fabulous. And you could just relax and you can invite and talk and try to still your mind and clear. I think he would like to be able to communicate with you and let you know that he is around you, but for you to be able to do this. And he's saying that he's still working on his spiritual stuff, on his spiritual nature on the other side. That vertical is the next world and the different dimension. And he's letting me know that he's kind of limited right now. I think he is learning how also to kind of spread his wings a little bit on the other side and do more advanced communicational work. I think he's still learning. And interesting that this looks like 2, and it's been 2 years, eh? That looks like 3. There's, and these cards are meant to be used like totally intuitively as well. So I'm feeling like maybe around the 3rd year of the anniversary of his passing, I'm feeling like he's going to be better at communicating, and you will too. Maybe you will open up more and work on the meditation, making your mind, inviting him and saying, I open to receive your communication, just like you just set aside a little chat for him. But then you've got to go through the process of trusting and checking, what you get. But the very first step is going to be opening up. And he's showing here that your opening has a lot of chaos around it. So I think there's just some self-work. We all have this kind of stuff that we got to do, babe. So, but it's clearing. And so getting rid of a lot of fears and insecurities and just knowing that we are enough. Like what I said at the beginning is important. That will open you up and put your vibe at a higher level. And he's working through his stuff too. He's saying that he has certain limitations on the other side, but he's listening. Look at that. That says listening, in case you can't see because of the lighting. Listening. He is listening to you. I get this card when I'm asking about certain artists that I like to, that are passed over, that I like to communicate with. So he wants to build a bond with you. And He just feels that you and he both have got to do some inner work to, number one, for him to be able to try to send you the vibe or the information, whatever, and for you to be able to receive it. But he's listening. You got his ear. That's a start. And balance. It's just what I was talking about. So you both have to work on balancing your ability to receive and to give and communicate. It's just a different way of communicating. And I bid you that if you work on that really truly for over this year, up to the next anniversary of his passing, I think you'll come a long way. And that's what he's indicating. So I hope that you will do that. Hello, Ian Hendricks. How are you? I'm glad you're on. Hello, everyone. Sharon and Craig. Okay. Dawn, I see your question. Okay, we got that. And JR's question. I'm just picking these up. Craig Dixon. Got that. I'm just going to read your thing. Okay, P44. And I'm so glad that Ron was here. I hope he's still here. Okay. I can understand how you would feel like you were going crazy, but you're not. You've got it. Just give him space in your mind. Give him an assigned space in your mind of, like, you can picture it as a cute little coffee shop or whatever you like, and you go in there and you're talking to him. You're bantering. Try it that way. Just break the ice. Don't worry about whether you're making it up, whatever. Just start to open the door to that communication, because of course he can communicate with you if he wants to. And I see he wants to. He shows he's listening. And I would highly recommend, one of the other ways that you can learn is by picking up a simple deck like this. Truly, try picking up this deck, Minimalist Oracle deck, and work with Smoke, through that tool, because I really do feel like you will gain a great deal of insight. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the starred questions. All right. Here's JR's question. That was next. Let me just shuffle this up. Elaine Parent is a killer from Florida. She has had different identities. What's her deal? Did she have more victims? Oh, I think I know about that case because, I watch a lot of true crime. Let's see. Let's just ask. Okay, so I'm bad with names usually, but I remember a couple of cases of women that they still don't know who they are. And this is got to be one of them. So anyway, I will ask. Elaine Parent, what is her deal with taking on all these different identities and the activity? What is provoking that within her? What provoked that within her? And how many, were there more victims? Were there a lot more victims, a little more victims? Let's see what we get. Now, I want to align with the source of all truth and love and creation. To me, that's God. And my ancestors, they help me. And my other spiritual mentors. What is Elaine's issue with all these different identities and her criminality? And were there more? Okay, I'm going to try this deck first and see if it works out. Anger. I think it's working. I think this deck is going to work. Okay, we have the fiery, hot anger. A lot of anger. She was misdirecting her anger and taking it out on the public. And I just get she doesn't care. Yeah, she needs to do inner work, which is the shadow work, where you work through insecurities, where you work through fears, where you work through these things rather than avoid them and go to great lengths, such as to commit horrible crimes and using a different identity so that you can do it. That's why she did it. And it was so that she could avoid doing her inner work, and anger is the main source. Co-creation. Horizontal. So in this world, in the earthly realm, we get a lot of partners using people. She did it to use people. People were objects in the sense to take out that anger on. Now we've got the blinds impression on my face. Okay. I have the heart, and it's falling under the anger card. And integration. Chaos. Limits. Well, oh my God. At heart, I see this integration, and I feel like she kind of wanted to be somebody other than herself. At heart of it, she doesn't like herself. A lot of that anger is self-loathing, I feel like. And I feel like part of this thing of taking on another person's identity or a different identity, creating them, is trying to create somebody that she wishes that she were. It's the fantasy, the heart, the integration. To me, that integration is a dealing with, and again, with her not dealing with her anger in the correct way. She's misdirecting it, taking it out on other people because she won't do the inner work. And that's what I think a lot of killers end up killing, because some part of them doesn't want to look at their fears, doesn't want to, would rather hurt other people. They would rather misdirect. They would rather victimize than be victim in their thinking. And for her, I get that she really didn't like herself. And some of this was so that she was trying to kind of become someone else, because there was so much chaos within herself, and that would be created that she would try to escape from. So she would have to create a new identity. And that's what she would do. Once she became or committed a chaotic act, she, in this world, had to create a new identity so she could continue to get on with it. I get the sign of the tortoise. This is slow, long process, pain. Just her soul is just like perpetual pain, because she's never allowed it to integrate. She's never leaned into it. It's always been projected a lot of the time on other people. Okay, so that's what I get about her. Okay. Now, Don Louise, is my dad Sam okay? My sisters made sure I didn't get to say bye. I'm so sorry. Valentine's Day, 12 years ago. It's okay to ask. Of course it is. Let's see. Sam, I'm sorry that that happened. Let's see if Sam's probably done some work on the, he's got a little more time under his belt. Let me see if I can connect with him. Sam, your daughter Dawn wants to know if you're okay. What would you like to share with her? She is sorry. You know, she doesn't feel like she was able to say goodbye the way she wanted to, but you know that. So what would you like to share with Dawn? Sam. Sorrow. He knows the sorrow, okay? Very much aware of it. And he's sad that they did that as well. Limits. Them putting that limit on you wasn't cool. He's really, that's really him connecting. Seriously. Let me just tie up my hair a little bit. And Craig, I've got you next. So he's showing sorrow. He's talking about that and the limits. So I definitely feel, Dawn, that he's addressing that issue of not getting to say goodbye to him the way you had hoped that you'd be able to. He knows it. And he knows why. And he doesn't, you know, there's no hard feelings. There is sorrow. He does feel sorry that that was done. I swear I shuffled this deck. The tortoise. And integration. Yeah, he's talking about it took him, I feel like he's letting me know that there was something to do with the length of time that he had to integrate and heal on the other side. And I think he's also talking about perhaps the issues that you have with your sisters in time being addressed. I do feel like, but it's a while. So he gives me to make me feel like he is conscious of what went on, even though he may not have been well at the time. He knows what happened. I get the card of ritual and cocoon. So there's a healing. And he's also, I think he's speaking to healing for yourself, about cocooning yourself and having the ritual to me is a regular thing that you do that can be positive or negative. It depends. It might be here with the cocooning. It might be that you need to just, yeah, he's talking about taking some time, cocooning yourself so that you kind of go through like a caterpillar stage, that you're changing and you're growing, and that it's not always pretty. Like I was saying, change and growth, you know, it's usually pretty ugly. It's a lot of snotty nose and swollen eyes, you know, and he's talking about that. That's interesting. And sensitivity. I hope this is making sense to you. And hello, if you're coming in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me, please. That helps my channel. So, and really at our most sensitive, we are in that caterpillar phase. To understand, and it's funny that he also gives me the cocoon. Is there a butterfly symbol that you guys might have or something? I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder. But he's talking about trust and a new beginning, a new you, and a new beginning with him. You know, it's like working through a lot of this. But trust that he can hear you. Trust. It is just me and my kids, and I am on my own. It is among sense. Oh, I guess, yes, it is making sense. Okay. I talked to him. Great. Because he's like following your life, and he's saying, like, you got some poopy stuff to go through, but just trust the process. Okay. And he's saying that there's going to be a new beginning coming where you're not going to be the caterpillar anymore. You're going to become the butterfly, and where you evolve. So it's going through the difficulty, but he's wanting to cheer you on, because he's saying, I really sense, like, I know you've been through it, babe. I'm here with you. You got some new stuff coming. Just believe it. Just trust it. And you are sensitive. Sometimes you're going to need to have that ritual to cocoon yourself. Okay? And you can talk to him when you feel that way and just go, oh, Dad. Oh, whatever way. And I'm so glad Craig Dixon says, my guide Clara helped me to love Christmas again. That's huge. That's wonderful. I've come warming up again to it as well. I'm glad that's making sense. Okay, let's see what else he has to say. And then the gong. Okay, the gong is expedited. The more aware you become, the faster you grow spiritually. So he's saying you have a phenomenal year coming, especially where spiritual growth and understanding and being more secure, being confident, all that stuff. He's saying you just have to have courage to believe it. And it will take bravery. It will take you going beyond your comfort zone. You're very welcome. I'm so pleased to read for you. It is an honor. Okay. Thank you, Desert Dawn. Thank you so much. So he's with you. And so when you need to draw courage, just go to him. I think he's going to be one of your guides on the other side, because we definitely can have family members that do that step in. We have a variety of I was going to say ancestors, and also beings that have never been human. We have spiritual helpers that aren't all human based. They're angels or whatever you want to call them. They are spiritual without, incarnate form. All right, I really want to make sure. I like this deck so much. Let me get to that next question. Okay, it's for Craig. All right. My father needed from me forgiveness from me. I told him I did that a long time ago. No worries, Dad. Oh, that's wonderful. And what else did you say here? Said something here. It took me a long time to celebrate Christmas because oh yes, your dad passed away on Christmas. That, I think, I can understand how that would do that. That is phenomenal, Craig. Let me just see what your dad, if your dad has a message for you, okay? That's what I feel like doing. There's a song by one of my favorite artists, and his father passed away around Christmas, and he wrote a song, and I really like it. It's beautiful, but it's called Red Water. And it's a pretty nostalgic song, but it's beautiful. And he wrote it for his father. Okay. Let me just tune in. Craig Dixon. Mr. Dixon. Mr. Dixon Sr., have you got a message for Craig that you'd like to share through the Minimalist Oracle deck? I open it to you, Mr. Dixon, Craig's dad. See what we get. New eyes. Ha! You have new eyes for Christmas. You see the world through new eyes now. He's proud of you. Truth. Clara did help you. So you have new eyes and truth from him. See the world through new eyes because it's the truth. Ritual. If Christmas isn't one giant ritual, I don't know what is. And the laws of the earth. This is like you're among the living, you know, you're here. And these are the laws of what people do on the earth, you know. Come back to the ritual and see it through new eyes, the eyes of a child through, you know, and enjoy it again. I'm glad that you have Shield Maiden. You are so very welcome. And thank you. He is okay. He is more than okay. And I wanted to say that because I got from him like, I'm more than okay. I'm fabulous. And it's like, all right, I'll tell her. But I thought, I'm just go. His first name was Benjamin. Ah. What else does he want to talk about? Light. He's bringing up light and enlightenment and humility. This says on your knees. That's the truth is humbling. Something about that. Let the truth humble you. And he's with you. There's co-creation. He's like, I'm your wing dad. He's like, I'm your, you know, I'm with you. I'm with you. And we still have a connection, even though I am not on the earth and you are having to follow the laws because you are incarnate. We still co-create. It's just the tip of the iceberg, which you're beginning to understand now. He's saying there's so much more to learn. That's beautiful. There's a pause, okay? And I think that pause is probably the be still thing, you know? To receive. Yeah. Courage as well. It takes courage. It takes courage to be on this earth and to go through this stuff. He's bringing up found object and purge. So don't be surprised if there's something. Let me just tell you, I was using these cards earlier, and there was something I'd been looking for, a specific hairbrush that I really like. And it's like I said, I've got so much stuff around me, and I need somebody that's organized to come in here and help me out. But anyway, I was like, oh, shoot. And so I asked one of my spiritual mentors if they would help me. And then I found the hairbrush today. So you might find something that's been missing for a while, or it could be there's an understanding that you haven't had that will be coming here. And it is about, with the purge card, it is about letting go of what is not yours. It's all about letting go of what isn't your baggage, Craig. You know, if somebody to put that down, put that weight down. I think it's definitely finding insight. There's something coming for you, he's saying. Yes. Focus. Maximum oxygen. I think that's like fresh air, something new. What else do I feel from that? Yeah, it's about focus. That, you know, the alert but calm. You know, you are open to receive. This is what I'm getting from him. But you kind of target, make that your intention. Your intention is like a target. And I feel like the maximum oxygen, well, that would mean, what does it mean? This is all very brief too. This deck is great. It's like very, like I'll read to you the point of this one card here, because they really do want you just to go. But you can also look. Okay, it looks like they've done it alphabetically. Okay, yeah. I am, you know, the I am, expanding to the highest levels available to me. Keywords: expansion, breathing, progress, new territory. So he's saying, you think that's cool. There's going to be more cool new things coming into your life. You know, expanding in your life. There's a target. Also, dream bigger. I get from him, dream bigger. Mama Woo, where's Mama Woo? Thanks everyone for being here. Where's Mama Woo's question? Let me roll back. Oh, hello chat. Hi Mama Woo, I see you. Have you got a question? Is it up here? Let me see. I'm rolling back. Mama Woo, if you got a question, babe, drop it in the comments, all right? If I haven't already started. I'm just on Craig right now. Craig says, when I pass, I am possibly not coming back. It hurts too much in this world. It does. It does. I understand. That's what I feel too. Clara showed me the other side. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't my time. Soon, but not too soon. Just if you go before me, look out for me. Hi, Sharon. Cheryl. Will I make money with the fashion franchise? All right, I'm gonna put that question. So I'm here. Okay, Mama. Did you ask a question, Mama? She did it twice? All right. Maybe I've already started. I got P44. I don't have her question. So, Mama, if you'd be so kind, can you just repost it for me here? And I will put a star on it. And I'll be happy to read on your question. I know I'm going over. That's fine. All right. So P44 is next. Has put in a question for a community tab up. Do my spiritual guides have a message for me regarding my current job career? I want to retire early this year and go part-time and do other things. Okay, let's see what we have for you, P44. Again, I'm going to try using this deck. And your question is about your current job, career, and if it looks like you could retire early and just do part-time. Let's see what we get. So can P44 just, will she be able to retire early and just do part-time work? And what else does she need to know? This is for P44 Chippo. Faith. Pain. Caterpillar. So there is some change coming where you change like stages. So that stage, retirement, that can be part of this right here. And humility. This is the card of on your knees, and that is humility. So it looks like there might be a lot of physical. I don't know if you're having a lot of physical pain or if it's other kinds of pain or both. Many times we not only have physical pain, we have emotional, mental pain often as well. But it's showing me that you might have to. And I don't know if you have, I'm feeling like there might be a physical reason why you would want to. Okay? This is, the horizontal is this earth plane. So it's talking about the earth world. Unconditional love is being sent to you. Because I know that there's a great deal of pain in your life around this. There's pain associated around the job stuff. Don't know what that is, babe. Spiral. This is a growth and change. And this is like, I feel like there's energy. Your guys are giving you kind of like chi or like love energy. It's unconditional. And there is growth with that spiral. And I get tools. I've never got that one before. I think you are coming into awareness enough to know what you need to do for you, okay? And it shows that if there is pain, like there is, then you need to just have faith that you'll be able to retire early, do everything you can do to make that possible, of course. Because it looks to me like you're going to figure it out. That horizontal, unconditional love spiral tools, you're going to figure out what it is that you want to do with regard to the job and to the work situation. And it looks like you've got some wiggle room there. Okay, portal. There's like, again, there is something going into a new phase. Resistance, knowing this is like the right amount of time to work and the right amount of time not to. That's what the resistance is. I'm glad I had looked that up before because found object. This makes me feel like you're going to figure out what work schedule works better for you with your physicality and with your own other needs and what you want to do. I think you are going to, yes, inner child. I feel like you are going to recreate that situation so that it's more comfortable for you. So you may retire early. I see you could. And just make sure, of course, that you've got your ducks in a row for that. Because you're going to need to tailor, it's showing me you tailoring your life in a way that actually works for you and not on someone else's clock. And I think that's your answer. And it makes me think that you will retire as you feel like you want to. And work, you will figure out that too, of off time, on time. Like on time, I mean like when you're working and when you're not working. I see you figuring that all out with the tools. I feel confident to say that. I hope that's helpful. Ooh, my nose is starting to drip. All right. What's the next question? BlackCat, will I make money with this fashion franchise? Okay, let me see, Cheryl Semenoff. Oh, you guys, I meant to show you that. Where did I put that? It matches my shirt. Okay. I did not even try. That's funny. There's some alignment for you. I have to have some air. Oh my God, this is like a godsend. Okay. So Cheryl Semenoff has a fashion franchise and wants to know if it's going to take off and be successful. So I ask the source what Cheryl needs to know with regard to her fashion franchise? Is it going to be successful, and what might she need to know? I give thanks. Oh boy, this one's a real melter. Whew. And then I will be doing Tyler. Your question will be after this one. Pennsylvania. My intuition says, yeah, I think that you could end up there. But I will get to your question after. I do share this. Well, I get the void. So this is the beginning, like a beginning, like, but with this void, it's like, it's kind of like unlimited, if you will, to create from. Okay. And then again, I get that aspect, the card of resistance, but again, it's like, kind of like Shirley, Goldilocks, Cheryl, it's like what's just right. What's too much, you're finding that groove. And with any new business, as you know, the first 3 years typically are tough because you're going to be networking and trying to make it more visible and develop clientele. So, but what's really cool is I'm shown the void. So I'm going to read you as I melt. Now I finally stopped melting. I'm going to read you what it says about the void. This deck is so cool. I would really highly I will put this up in the community section. This is such a great deck. You don't have to be like this than the tarot. Tarot is a little more, this is cool. Okay, so the void is I am, the I am, the you that exists. I am inspired by the unknown. And the key words here are pure potential, like I was saying, transitions, darkness, but it's a fertile darkness, so it's very fertile for you creatively. And the resistance, oh yes, they do this alphabetically. The resistance, oh no, it's just resistance. Okay. I am aware of when, like I said, to push forward and when to pull back, to retreat. So there's some friction. This is about also stagnant and stubborn, but also spark. Those are the key words. So for me, this is a great way of getting out of feeling stuck. There's unlimited creative potential with this franchise. I feel like it's actually, yes, going to be very good for you. And I feel like you are going to be able to pick up that groove, of how to work with this. And it looks to me like there's a love of what you're doing, of creating. With fashion, you could create so many different pieces for different looks. I feel like this can be really good for you. What's showing? Light. And if we think about it, light, like our clothes, it's what we can see and how we express ourselves. And so, you're helping people to express a part of themselves and in an endless way that's not overblown, not too much. That is a cool and unique effect. Have faith. Have faith. And it's so easy to say, have faith, but let me read you what it says. It's not just that, but trust in your power and your intention. Okay. Let me get you faith. I am cultivating a deep relationship with what I feel is true inside. Keywords are strength, intuition, depth, and power. I think your intuition is guiding you in this. And I feel like I'm getting yes all the way. that this is a good thing for you to do. It is a good outlet for you, and it helps other people to express themselves with the clothing. Release what you don't need, and that means also any down talk, purge and trust. All right? Let go of what you don't need and trust and do it. I see that your fashion franchise should be successful. Okay? Chromatica's Rebel. I've also got to look at some of these questions. Okay, is twice. Okay, I see it. Mama Woo, I'll roll back up. I have your question, Tyler, and I'll get Mama Woo's. I've got to find it. Where in the hell did it go? She's not mine, but I joined as an affiliate. Oh, okay. Well, I think it's gonna be very positive for you. So let's see. Let me find that. Mama Woo. Sorry, guys, it takes me a while. I'm just kind of like, where the hell did it go? Let me see if I can see it on the other live. Okay. Where is Mama Woo? Oh, and Faye Terachek. Okay, I see. You got a question too. Why did I not see that though on this one? All right, hold on, you guys, because it looks like, yeah, I see she did. And I'm not seeing it in my, okay, there it is. I've got you, Faye. I'll read on yours, and I'm gonna find, I've got to find Mama Woo's. This is driving me nuts. Must be here. Oh, here we go. Oh, I see she's saying, Gina, can you please tell Maya? All right. I'm going to have to go very slowly through this. Okay, where are you? I see you saying hello. Chat. I really want to read for you, but I'm struggling to find. And you said you asked twice. Crazy. All right. Sorry. Trying to find her question. I'm picking up the other ones that I didn't see. And then I will close it out. I want to read on Mama Woo's and Tyler's and the other ones that I have picked up that I didn't get. The deck that I'm recommending for a first deck, I would say outside of the tarot, would be this minimalist oracle deck. Just using your intuition. It's very, very, very good for that. I am so, what the hey? You have a daughter, Taya. Oh, she's got a nice name. Dang. I hate this not being able to find that. All right, I'm going to have to come back. It's got to be here. Where's Mama Woo's question, for Pete's sake? Yeah, I couldn't find it in this chat. And I know she may have posted a few times, but if somebody can see it, can you copy and paste for me? And I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next question. I will get back to her and see if I can find it again. All right. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to read on Tyler's question, and then Aspie and Faye and Mama Wu, if somebody will be so kind as to cut and paste her question again so I can grab it. I don't know why I couldn't find it, but like it's weird because I have the StreamYard here, and then if I go and look at YouTube, I can see other things there, and it's like, okay, wait a minute. Some of these are not all showing up. So don't worry, guys. I'm going to read your questions, and I am bound and determined to read for Mama Wu. If she would do me the big solid of a third time's a charm, I don't know. All right. Okay. Lipstick on my tooth. All right. So, where's Mama? Is that Mama Wu? You don't see it either? Yeah, I couldn't find it. If anybody can, please cut and paste it for me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and continue. If I can't see it, I can't read it. Otherwise, I would. And if somebody can find it, I will gladly read on her. I don't know why it's not showing up. But computer crap. I don't know, you guys. Okay, so Tyler, Aspie, Faye, and then Mama Wu, if we can get that for her. I keep thinking, I'm hoping that you can't find it either. Yeah. All right. Sometimes it happens. You guys know that these things can be glitchy, so I am sorry. Okay, so Tyler wants to know if he's going to be moving to Pennsylvania soon-ish, yeah? And that his spirit guides have been telling him about the that place last few days. All right. So Tyler in Pennsylvania. I feel like a yes, just intuitively. But let me see what the cards might want to show. I really like this deck. I've already started to bend it. There's Chaos. Hello, Chaos. Making space. To me, this is getting ready. That is getting going through all the crap that you need to in order, I think, to clear through your things and to make space for that in your life to manifest. Right now, there's this chaos with where you're at. And I think, you need your own space. New eyes. I'm going to say yes. You're going somewhere new. And forgiveness. I think the distance will be easier for you to forgive some issues. And maybe for yourself in certain ways. It's always ourselves also. But I say yes. And I see it's kind of chaotic, but making the space, making it happen. And I feel like it's going to be very healing there for you. Truth. And planting seeds. So prepare for that. Okay? Because I get a yes. All right. Aspie says, must read. I wanted to highlight this so that we would all see it. Must reads are Quantum Enigma, Physics Encounters Consciousness, 2nd edition, Rosenblum and Kuttner. And Tarot Mediumship. Oh, we got more books that I want. Should not only be possible, but should be common. So common. I agree. All right. So Faye, on to you. Your parents didn't want to talk to Sharon Lee when she read for me. Why? All right. Let me just look into that. I think that you will find, none of us can find the question. I'm sorry, Mama Wu, but I'll have to get you another day. But Faye, I'm definitely going to read now for you. That's interesting, Tyler. I think it's good to keep it open, keep flexible so that you can go with what is the best. But I see you getting out of there. Yeah. But prepare, okay? Be more prepared. Get rid of extra crap that you don't need to haul around and make a plan, Make a plan, my son. All right. Hey, Tara Jack, your parents. Why didn't they want to come through with Sharon? I know who Sharon is, so no problem. What was their resistance? What was that about? Can we address that? Faye's parents. Why were they not able to come through with Sharon? What's up with that? We want to know. Inquiring minds. I get that they were listening. It shows listening. Okay. And the iceberg. But that means like it's just the tip of a greater, something much greater than you can envision or understand. There's a lot beneath the surface, so to speak, like an iceberg. We just see the tip of the iceberg, the literal tip, but there's huge, it's much more than we understand going on. So they're talking about that. They were listening. It might just be too that what they were trying to convey may have been they were trying to figure out a way how to kind of nutshell something really expansive or in some way. And maybe they were having some trouble or something, I don't know. But they show gratitude and inner child. They want you to remember, for one thing, they're saying how much they loved it when you were, I guess, a kid. I'm getting something from that. But more of that innocence, that part of you, they're bringing it up, and they're bringing up gratitude. I think they were very, very happy. Oh God, don't make me cry, you guys. To be your parents. I tell you, they know how to get me. Where's that fan? Don't make me cry. They want you to explore again with the inner child eyes. There's just so much gratitude. Have faith that what you can't see again, okay? What you can't and aren't certain of, that it can exist and does exist, and they do exist. And they are listening. They are listening. And they have so much that they would love to share with you. But, there's a little difficulty in kind of trying to share that sometimes. But they want you to understand things again more out of the heart of an inner child, that innocence. There's gratitude. And a found object, again, I don't know, maybe there's something that you're going to come across that will be meaningful, that you've been looking for. It can be an actual object, but it can also be an understanding. There's a new start. You're given a blank canvas. They're showing me a blank canvas for you. And a higher power. So it makes me feel like there's so much you can create and there's so much you can do. And it's so hard for them to try to nutshell it, I think, in a biteable way that you can understand. It's kind of hard to convey. Maybe that was the problem. Because it's so expansive, it's just huge. And that there's just unbelievable source with this higher power and blank canvas of, like I'm saying, to continue to create, and that your creative side Go back to when you were a child. There's something there, a creativity, where you just allow yourself that ability to create, and you don't say this, that, or the other. Yeah, sorry, we cannot see it, Mama Wu. We can see all this, but we can't see the question. So I'm going to be ending this soon. If you want to repost it right now, that's fine. Otherwise, I can't read on a question that I can't see. I'm sorry. All right. So also, Faye, there's inner work that they're talking about. This is, the fears, the shadow work, and current consciousness. And to lean into your sorrows shows great courage, you working through that. So you're working through difficulties, some shadow work. It shows that they're aware of that and that they're with you. And they definitely bring that creativity for you. You're subscribed and it's saying you're not. That's weird. That is very weird. It should do that. Because how would I even see your typing it's weird if you weren't? I wouldn't. You should be subscribed. That's strange. Well, I would say just go and make sure you're subscribed again, because I can see you. So if you're going to type it's weird, go ahead and type the question, okay? Because I'm going to be shutting this down, okay? I'm sorry it's doing that. Very weird. I'd love to read for you, but I do need to wind this down. I have my family here that like to come out and use the room. So what I'm going to do, Mama Wu, since I can't see it, I'm just going to ask Spirit what you need to know. Okay? What does Spirit want to share with you? What do you need to know, Mama Wu? This is for you. Okay? Sorry that it didn't show up. I don't know. Some YouTube has been eating my numbers lately again. So I'm just going to ask for Spirit to let me know what to share with you, Mama Wu. Discomfort. Okay. Cocoon. This sounds like you need some healing. And this is talking about allowing yourself the space to cocoon, just kind of, let me just share with you what it says, Mama Wu. Okay, so we have discomfort right now. And it's about broadening your awareness through challenges. And the keywords are growth, new experiences, stretching, you're out of your comfort zone. There can be an emotional ache. And so there's this need to cocoon, to heal. It's what I'm getting for you from your guides. Developing in your own time, dealing with your shadows, your privacy, these private matters, inner world, secrecy. The cocoon. All right? So it's about healing, and your current consciousness has anger. So current consciousness is honoring where you are with your awareness. And it is talking about evolution, your current conscious changing. And I think it's about changing out of a place of anger, or perhaps needing to allow yourself to feel the anger so you can release it, but not misdirected. Laws of the earth, the things that we have to go through while we're on this planet, certain experiences. And it's telling you to have patience because you need healing. You need healing. Ooh. Okay. Mama Wu question is she got 4 aces in a reading. Oh, out of 5. And they said she got 5 aces. What does it mean? Please and thank you, she said. Well, that is significant. That's a lot of new starts. That is a dynamic new time of start. And that makes sense here with actually what I'm seeing. This is about healing and for a new beginning, but it takes patience because it's an earthly thing. That's what I'm getting. Now, let me just see about the aces. That's definitely some new energy, new beginnings pushing in. Let's see here. There was something I had. Yeah, numerology insights. And the tarot. These are some of those new little decks. Let's see. I already know that. Pick a card. No, I don't need that foolishness. I'm going to say, for one thing, we got to look at the ace as a beginning, okay? These are new starts. It's new opportunities of growth, and you can build upon them. What's this deck right here is, this one is 22 Tarot, Numerology Insights that will change your life. I'm waiting for it. I just opened this up. But the other one that I'm using is the Minimalist Oracle deck. And this is what I'm getting for Mama Woo. It's really a need of emotional healing. And I have a lot of anger in the current consciousness, if that makes sense. It requires patience in what she's dealing with. And it could be healing. I definitely see a need for healing and to allow herself that with that cocooning. Ritual and pain. Again, going through painful things, but it's processing it. And developing in your own time with the cocooning in. Now, ritual, I am honoring the past by connecting to it in the present. And the keywords are ceremony, sacred, tradition, connection to the past lives, devotion. So there could be even past life stuff. I feel like that you're purging and or experiencing pain of, and it's to help you to process it, to be patient as you're processing it, to cocoon yourself as necessary. Sometimes we're really sensitive, and that cocoon means we have to kind of step away from other people, Mama Woo. So it looks like you need, there is healing on a great level of, and it could be physically as well, but it looks like there's pain that needs to be released. And you can release it to the light. All right. Co-creation, working and collaborating with other people in a healing way. To me, this is like getting healing body work done. And ditto, Craig. I promise. I'll be looking out for y'all. I'll be busy. And yes, the number 5 is about change typically. I know that because my birth date is 5. And it's typically a challenge. It's a challenge to up your game a lot of times. But it's good. It gets us out of our comfort zone to expansion. But it can be a little uncomfortable. And I do see that. And I see there's healing with anger that needs. And 4 aces, the 4 aces are new starts, new beginnings. And in all those different realms, you got to think about emotionally, if it's like cups, mentally, physically, this is a great change that's coming and one that you can build upon. It's not just there and poof. So that's very interesting. She should write it down. And I am sure that she's going to know what it means exactly as it goes through. It is big change coming in. Oftentimes it can take us by surprise, but it's a new cycle. And it looks like she's got some pain that she needs to release and work on inner pain, private pain. Okay? So I hope you will do that. All right, you guys. It has been a wonderful live. Thank you so, so much. I am kaput for now, but I have lots of work to do behind the scenes with making some different videos with so you can see these different decks. And I will list the ones that I used tonight in the community area. Okay, so if you're so inclined, I would definitely recommend this oracle, this minimalist oracle. It's so simple for anyone, but especially if you want to, for anyone, beginner or no, but especially if you're a beginner, this is a great one. Oh my goodness, Craig, that's interesting. Your mom's birthday. Wow. That's cool. So Mama Woo, I think you got the 4 aces and then you got a little extra. So I hope that was okay with you. I hope that we were able to work around any glitches. I want to thank you guys so, so much. And I will see you in the next live or video that I do. I have to do my video for the Monday affirmations, the coffee with the Buddhist reading cards. Those are fun. So anyway, thank you for a great live. Thank you, Geeky Heart. Thank you all. You guys are the ones that make it, and you make it worth going over time. So I'll see you later. Bye. Have a great week ahead.